Hello everybody, welcome back to the Bison Workshop. I'm Bob, and today we're going to work on my air compressor. I come out here the other day and the air compressor was running, and it was pretty warm. I could feel the heat off of the pump and the motor in my face, and I was only about 2 feet from it. So I hope I didn't mess it up. But what had happened was the switch went bad. So we're going to replace that switch and hope for the best. Alright, move my battery there. I started off with a dead battery. So this is the switch I took out, and there is a lot going on with this switch. This part barely works. When I had the white wire on there, this whole thing is loose. So this contactor is in pretty bad shape. And the little plunger for this thing, it sounded like the air was coming from this, but it wouldn't come back on. Once I turned it off, it was done. It wouldn't go back to on position. It looks like it's working correctly now, but it's not. This contact is messed up, so I went and got another one, and I covered that up so it had my address on it. Alright, so here's our new contactor, or pressure switch. That might be a problem because this one is angled. That's got a right angle. This one's going straight back. This is what I need right here. But I think that's bad. So I hope that ain't going to be a problem. It probably will be, just because I need this done. I might have to get one of them right angled ones. They also had this thing hooked up wrong. They had, well, first let me tell you how it's supposed to be. This one is L1, this one is L2. These two are T1 and T2. These two go to the motor. These two are your two hots. They had the motor hooked to this and the two hots to these. I don't know how, that's probably what burnt this switch up. But it's worked for a while, so I don't get why they had that wire like that. That's the way I took it off. So I don't know what's going on with it, and I'll just go ahead and hook the new one up. Now I don't have one of these. I only got one. I had another one here, but it's too big. So I'm gonna have to put this one in the line coming in, and then we'll put the motor going in here, because it's pretty big wire. It might close that whole thing in, but the ground will keep it from pulling out. So I like to have one though. But anyway, we're going to go over and see what we got going on over there after we get a cord on here. So I've already made a cord with a plug on it, and this might be small wire, but it's 4-wire. I'm pretty sure that this will be heavy enough to work it, and if it doesn't, we'll change it. But I'm going to go ahead and put this thing here in. Alright, so now all I gotta do is hook the motor up to it. Then we've got to figure out how we're gonna route this. Now I'll bring you over here and we'll show you what we got going on at the air compressor. So now we're over here at the air compressor. Probably ain't got a whole lot of light, but this is the motor. This is the line. It's awful spider webby in here, or cobwebby. But that goes in there like that, and I'm not going to be able to hook this up to it like that. So somehow I've got to get that turned around. Something like that. Well, I need this 45. Let me check and see if that will work on the other one. Alright guys, I found a nipple to put on this, and I found a way to make this work, because that elbow was able to, I was able to take it off of the other one, so that'll work. So now we got to screw this on, but I want to move that up out of the way. And I probably should have screwed this on before I put the cord on it. Alright, so now we can twist that on there. And I put pipe dope on it. There, I want to try one more turn. Yeah, let's try one more turn. Alright, that's pretty tight, pretty straight, everything's tight. Now I can hook this line back up. Alright, so now this wire here is obsolete. We're going to take it clear out of the breaker box. Instead, we're going to plug it in down here where it's supposed to be plugged. And they've got it wired in the box both ways. So that's hooked up and this wire's hooked up. It's kind of double problem. So they got both of them hooked to that breaker. And we're going to take one of them out and eliminate that wire, and we're going to plug it into the plug like it's supposed to be. So let me get that done. This is such a tight area. I'm going to go ahead and cut this wire out, hook this motor up, and we'll see if it works. Well guys, we've got power going to it, and now we get to turn it on. I had to clean that screen a little bit, or that glass. It's still kind of dirty. I might get another gauge for that, but this is actually not my air compressor. This actually belongs to the landlord, and I just paid 70 bucks for that frickin' switch, man. So I hope he appreciates that. But anyway, so now when it goes to adjusting, I don't know what this is actually set for, but I run at 150 psi. And I'll probably put that curtain in y'all's way. So I want to get this up to where I'm running at 150 psi on the meter. So or on the gauge. So we need to go up to almost buried. Yep, bury them. Alright, so we want this thing to cut off at 150 psi, so let's turn it on and see if we can get it to go up there. That one I can't hardly tell much about, but I do have this gauge here. So we're moving up. It's going to take a while since it was completely empty. So we're going to come back when we get close to 150 and see if it's adjusted correctly. Alright guys, we're almost to 150. And I'm going to go and turn, we're going to take this and turn it back until it shuts off. So I had to turn it off because it was going below or above 150. So we're right at 150 right now. So I'm going to let some air off of it and try to find you guys a good place to set so you can see what I'm doing. And we'll see what happens. Alright, let's try it again and see if it cuts off at 150. Waiting for it to cut on. Should cut on at about 130. Yep, we got ways to go. I hate adjusting these things. Should be cutting on soon. We're about at 125. It should be kicking on by now. burned around about 120 psi. Now let's see if it'll shut off at 150. So it should shut off at 150 psi. Right here's where it was at. So that's at, find my magnifying glass I just had. This job's going terrible. Yeah, it shut off at about, or came on at 120. So we'll see if it comes up to 150 and shuts off. So right now we're around about 140. Because each one of them marks is 5 pounds. Shut off at 150. So now all I gotta do is put my cap back on it. And we got this job done. The pump actually needs to be taken off and cleaned out and new oil put in it. I've done an oil change on it not long ago. And when I took the oil out, I had to actually blow it out. I had to take this cap here out, the fill cap, and blow a bunch of nasty, slimy sludge out of it. And I put new oil in it, but I'm going to have to do an oil change here before too long. But by rights, it needs to be taken clear apart and washed out with gas and dried and put back together and new oil put in it. So that's going to be a job one day. We'll see. So that'll conclude this video on the compressor switch replacement. And I'm going to have to take this thing, cut that off and put it up there so that people see what it's supposed to be. They used to put them on the inside of the box, but they didn't do that. They put something like that in it, but no information on the wiring. So, but we'll keep an eye on it for the next couple of days and make sure that it stays up. I got a little problem with this thing down here. I think it's sealed now, but this little spring thing is supposed to let water out. And when you flip this, it doesn't like to seal back up. So, but we'll see if we got any leaks. I didn't have no leaks before, so I shouldn't have any leaks now. The only place that could leak would be right here or right here. And I don't hear anything leaking there, so I think we're golden. I put an extra long cord on it because eventually I would like to put this air compressor on the other side of that wall outside. Because I'm telling you, man, when I'm sitting here at this sandblaster and I'm sandblasting, this thing comes on, it actually makes my heart skip. It's that violent. So I want to get it out of here. Anyway, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. You guys have a good one. Later.